This is Revolutions Per Minute on DZRJ Radio with Marilyn Croft, and I'm Eric LeCain. Through the next hour and a half, we'll be discussing ways to enhance your life, your business, and inspire Filipinos and Filipinas to take charge of their destiny. Today, joining us on the show, we have a woman that we've had before, and we're so happy to have her back. Her name is Olera Magpantay. Now, they're applauding me now because I have been practicing saying her name for about 3 weeks now, and we're happy to have her. She is our on-board, on-staff hypnotherapist.
Yeah.
Which helps me through life because I need as much therapy as I can get. And so she is helping. Olera, how are you doing? How was your week? Welcome back.
Oh, thank you so much, Eric. Good afternoon, everyone here at DZRJ. And thank you so much for inviting me over. My week was good. Was really, really good. I had so much fun this week. How about you? How was your week?
Well, It's been a crazy week, We have our president he's in office. He's got himself a chair. He's ready to be president. So
which president?
I heard this man Duterte is
Duterte.
He is now
not just our president.
Yes, I was going to say our president, just because I happen to be sitting in a chair in the Philippines. I guess it doesn't necessarily make, but the Filipino president. So we're very happy that he has finally got himself into his chair now. Speaking of things in the news, now as a lot of people know, the last year it was a big news in Miss Universe competition. Miss Universe is the largest of the beauty pageants in the world. So I've heard. I believe it's the biggest one in the universe. It only has
because it's in the universe.
It only has contestants that are human beings, though I don't think there's any foreign.
I know it's kind of weird.
Aliens that are in that. But it is Miss Universe, the biggest one, and it just so happened that last year Miss Philippines won the Miss Universe pageant, and it made such world news. And a lot of people, there's a few people that pay close attention to the Miss Universe, but it's never been like the lead story on the news. But last year, something really big happened. And
everyone knows that.
One of the big superstars in the U.S. read the card wrong, and he said that Miss Colombia was the winner of the Miss Universe pageant, and it turns out that she was not about 30 seconds later, and that it was Miss Philippines.
That is horrible.
Now,
for them, not for us.
It was but not for us, and it catapulted the Miss Universe competition onto the mainstream media. It was the lead story on CNN. And actually, it's kind of funny. I was actually sitting in the airport when this was on live, and you hear them announce the winner, and you hear everybody in the airport go, "Oh." Everybody. And then, I wasn't even paying attention. I was typing on the thing. And then 30 seconds later, jubilation. People are screaming and yelling and laughing because it was so funny. And anyway, it made it to the big... But anyway, I was reading in the paper about 2 weeks ago that the Mrs. Asia International pageant was going on in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And one of our contestants that was from the Philippines who won several crowns at the Mrs. Asia
from the
Philippines, the Mrs. Asia International. I read it on the paper, and I looked down at the name, and I recognized the name as someone who works with the Rotary Club, because I work at the Rotary Club, and I recognized her.
Okay.
And I let me call her up and see. Maybe she could come on the show.
So did she win? She was the one who won.
And she was the one that she won several of the crowns in this. I'm not exactly sure how all the crowns level and everything. But she had won a couple of crowns, and so I called her up, and she said no, she couldn't do it because of course she's doing another show, and she's very famous. And so, but she said I'll come on next week, and next week is now today, and she's here now, and she's with us.
Is she the one beside me right now?
And her name is Vivian Yano, and she is the one that is sitting right next to you.
Oh my God! Welcome, Miss Vivian. Welcome to
Hello.
DZRJ.
Good afternoon to everyone. Good afternoon.
Yes,
Thank you, Eric, for inviting me. Thank you for DZRG 810 AM. Thank you so much for inviting me here. I'm Vivian Yano from Mindanao, Surigao del Sur.
She's from Mindanao.
Where in Surigao del Sur?
Surigao del Sur. Adlai Carrascal. I was born in one island.
Carrascal.
Yeah,
I know
one
some
island.
people are listening to us right now from Cantilan.
Cantilan.
Yeah, like Paps Lugo. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, it's my place.
I'm just trying to get. I'm just trying to get you to talk directly to the mic. We're so happy here. Now, I did not prep her at all for this show, and I didn't tell her that the show was in English, and so we're going to talk nice and slowly and plainly because we're in English, and she was talking that she does speak English.
She can.
Can speak Japanese,
She speaks-
Bisaya, Tagalog, little Spanish.
Wow.
A little Spanish.
That's great because I actually
no
barely
habla
even speak
español.
English, and I don't speak any of those other languages.
No habla español, señora.
Si, señorita. Es muy bonita.
Well, now that we're on the subject of beauty pageants, before we move off and start moving into other things, just give us a quick background of what happened in Malaysia. What was this competition? Now, I read that the Miss Asia International Pageant was established to promote today's proud married women and the accomplishments and commitment to family and marriage, and that was kind of their genre of how they described their competition. But you were there, you won several awards, and actually before we move on to that, let me just quickly run down. I was checking over your bio. You Mrs. Asia Classic International, Classic International Popularity, Miss Classic International Ambassador, Model Mom, Award Queen of the Philippines, the cover of Women's Journal, Most Outstanding Women's Award. I mean, it goes on and on and on. You're a professional at winning these awards. So let's just go with the news story that I saw in the Manila Times. It was about you. Explain to me what was going on there in Malaysia. What exactly you won at the Miss Asia International?
I won. The pageant was held at last June 10, and I won for the first semi-final. I won the Mrs. Asia Classic International for Popularity Queen.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was the one crown only. So I'm very happy.
Oh, that's amazing. Now, and what was the other one? You won another.
And then for the final, I won the Mrs. Asia International Ambassador, and my title is Mrs. Asia Classic Cosmopolitan.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I have 3 crowns and 1 trophy.
Oh, okay. Yes, and as I don't know, people can't see because we're on the radio, but she actually brought all of her crowns and sashes and trophy, and she's actually wearing a beauty queen gown that she brought to the. I hear you were at something else before, and you came directly from there over here because I know you're very busy, and you're wearing an actual gown, a beauty gown here. So Olara and I came slightly underdressed for this thing, but that's okay. But what does that mean now that you have won these awards? So you go around and you promote the Asia International Pageant.
Actually, before when I'm not queen, I almost feeding for the stray children. When I go back to my hometown, I feed for the foods for almost 300 and 500.
Yeah, because
children.
Surigao is a province.
So you're sort of an ambassador, so to speak, for the Asian International Pageant. You go around and help do charity work and feeding programs and so forth like that.
There's a fire at the Baisa. I checked there. Yeah. There is 300 houses was born at Baisa, Novaliches.
Yes,
and 650 families was the needs for the
displaced.
help.
Oh my God!
So,
Novaliches.
Maybe tomorrow I will feed for this.
I am so
like rice.
That's very interesting. Because, yes, I had heard about this, and I know that they they're in very need of food and shelter. A lot of people got displaced.
Yeah.
There's a lot of homes issue. That's great. Now
You know, Eric, what I actually see is that this woman in gown, she's wearing gown and everything, and she goes to charity. I mean, it's like two different poles, you know. She's so beautiful, she's so made up, and then but at the same time she can go ahead and feed children and go to charity events. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank you so much.
you are what I would call a for real person. So you're not only just the queen and do the glamour and all this, but you also do the other stuff, which is very, very important to being a representative of the Philippines and to be able to give back to the country.
Because, you know, I'm very full only before. I was born in one island.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very poor.
Karaskan.
And my father, when I was 3 months, my father was gone. So I helped my mother to survive. So I go to school by myself to sell the vegetable,
Oh my God.
vegetable, fruits, etc. As long as I can help my family.
Okay.
So your dad died when you were 3 years old? Is that?
3 months. I'm
3
sorry.
months.
When I'm got 3 months.
So he died already. Oh my
Yeah.
God. How many brothers and sisters are there?
No, we have only 7 sisters, no brothers.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I like
I'm the youngest.
how in the Philippines they do that. I only have 7. We're only 7 in our family. We're not so big. Just only
But that
7.
is
Only
so
7.
regular. I mean, my ex somewhere, I know he's listening to you right now. Hello, Babs. He's also from the same island as you are, Surigao del Sur. And they are 6. They are only
Only
Yeah.
6.
only 6. There's family planning in that.
Imagine that island has no electricity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Theirs they have, but yours
On
don't.
that island, I was bought with my uncle.
Oh,
I bought already.
You-
2 island.
you bought.
Yeah. I was born in Tabia.
She
Tabia
bought
Agay,
2
Karaskan,
islands. Did you hear
Surigao del
that? Am I correct?
Yeah.
Well, that says so now we're jumping ahead here. Because so now we've started. We have started now. We've gone back to your childhood. You're one of 7 sisters.
Daughters.
7 sisters. Your father passed away when you were very
When
young.
I'm
When you're very
3
young,
months.
and you grew up. You were selling vegetables and so forth to
Fruits.
get to school.
Irrigation.
To be you were the common Filipino story.
Yeah.
You're very poor and you have to
Yeah,
work
very
to get to
poor.
them. Now, let's just we solidified that's where you came from. Now, how did you end up in Japan? So let's jump ahead now and say.
Okay.
So now you get it. Now all of a sudden you're living a completely different life. You jumped ahead. You're living in Japan. How did you get from Surigao to Japan?
From Surigao, I came here in Manila, and somebody introduced me to marry with a Japanese, and that's the way I came. I go to Japan.
Somebody introduced you to a man. Yeah.
It's so funny. The woman that was an agency, but I'm not. I'm not ashamed. That's my true life.
I know,
Yes,
exactly.
More or less
I love this story.
100 women was selected, and for more or less 100 women, I'm the one selected for that man.
You mean this man came down to the Philippines and he wanted to get married,
He
and they
wanted to
had
marry
a
the
selection
Filipino.
of 100 women, and
Yeah.
out of 100 women, the Japanese man picked you.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. This is now. What year was this? Do you remember?
Although it's not my plan to marry with the Japanese, but my friend, old woman, was the one who.
How young are you?
That one maybe 18.
Oh, you were
I'm
so young. Oh my
7
God.
to 18.
And how old was the
Still my
Japanese
mom.
man? That's what we were.
39 years
39.
old.
Okay.
Oh, that's not
All right. That's
fine.
not, that's not so
That's
bad.
fine.
Now,
That's
in the U.S., that would be crazy because but in the Philippines, 39 is okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
So that's
39
right.
to 18, yeah.
Now, so
It's young.
when he decided that he was going to marry you, did you get to meet him? Did you get to meet him and talk to him a little bit first, or it's like, okay,
Yeah,
I marry you, and that's it. You spoke to him and you liked him, okay?
Yeah, but I told to my friend, the manager, can I cancel it? Can I cancel? I'm not prepared to marry like that. No, you must have a penalty of 10,000. But I don't have money at that, so I get married.
Well, this is an interesting. So you were forced to marry under the duress of having to pay 10,000 pesos.
Yeah, she doesn't have. So how was your married life after?
It's okay for the first time, but we stay only for 5 years, and I have child. It's a Japanese girl.
Oh, that's
Only one.
Only one.
Yeah.
That's
Now,
nice.
For 5 years.
Just to clarify, you
Only.
were the only wife, right? There was only one wife.
Yeah.
It's not a circle. Okay, all right, that's
Yeah.
good. So you moved from the Philippines and
To Osaka, Japan.
Went to Osaka, Japan. Now, at that time, did you speak any English or Japanese or anything?
I can speak English, but Japanese I can't speak very well.
Okay.
I only arigato like that. Thank you
okay.
so much.
Yeah.
For the normal good afternoon, konbawa like that.
Now,
Konnichiwa.
be-
Good night.
before you went to Japan, had you ever had sushi before?
Never.
Never?
I never saw the Japanese food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
because
like-
I'm poor only.
Because I know in the Philippines they like to cook their fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a.
Also, I love fish
Yeah.
because I live in one island. I always eat fish
Yes.
and seafood, like shell like that.
Okay.
Ah,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah,
we
it's
love
okay
that.
for me.
Was that
I
kind
love
of,
Japanese food.
you like Japanese
And
food?
you love
Yeah.
seafoods also.
That's now. Was that a shock? Like going from the Philippines or going from Surigao, which is a small island, and you go to Japan, which is a very different culture than what is here in the Philippines. Was that a big
Yeah,
shock?
I just dreaming that time when I get married.
Yeah.
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 It's just like a miracle.
Ah.
Also, when
I know.
I'm washing the clothes, at the river in my province, it's my dream to become an actress and to be a beauty queen. But nobody's will introduce me because I'm poor only.
Now, obviously, since you have moved to Japan, you went to Japan. You married this man. So you didn't have to pay the 10,000 pesos. So you got out of that.
Yeah.
And now you're in Japan. You don't speak. You speak a few words of Japanese. You're
Yeah.
having to learn to eat raw fish.
Yeah.
And then you have a child.
Yeah.
Okay.
Daughter.
Now, what happened after that? I mean, did you start to work in Japan or?
They were separate already.
Okay. Now,
After
And
5
then
years.
I worked.
after
I
5
worked.
years.
Yeah.
And you stayed in Japan, or you came
Yeah.
back? You stayed in Japan.
Yeah, I stayed in Japan,
So
Manila,
what did
like
you do
that.
after?
And then after that, I'm selling for the condos,
You got into real
state
estate.
realtors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So what happened when you were selling condos and real estate in Japan, right?
in Japan and Manila.
Oh, so you are
Yeah.
doing two things. Is he giving you allowance, or are you raising your daughter yourself?
I
Or
saved myself. I worked there.
you work there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
So what happened? Did you sell a lot of condos? What happened?
Of course.
Ah,
Yeah.
so how did you get to Malaysia after?
Well,
Not yet.
The Malaysia thing just happened last week.
Oh.
So we're still
Yeah.
working
My-
20 years ago. I'm still trying
Oh
to
my
get.
God.
I'm getting from now. You're in Japan. You've broken up with your husband. You have a child. You're a Filipino who's been swept off her feet under due duress, and you're in Japan. And now you're selling real estate, and you're going back and forth. And you bought a house in Japan, and you live there. And you're raising your daughter in Japan.
I bought here in Philippines.
In Philippines?
Yeah.
Okay,
For
so you came
condos
back
and house and lot.
after your husband, you separate, you came back to the Philippines. Did you brought your daughter back to the Philippines?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was studying in UST.
She's in
She
UST.
was already film director.
Oh, okay. Oh, she's a film director.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, wow.
That is so cool.
And so,
Amazing.
So you're back in the Philippines. You're selling real estate, and you're getting your life back together. Now, it says in here that your husband passed away at some point.
It's passed away already.
Oh, okay.
Why?
Yeah.
What's the cause?
Yeah.
He got sick and he passed away.
Yeah.
So now you're completely on your own with your daughter. You're back living in the Philippines, but now you've got a livelihood. You're selling real estate. Now I also heard that you also have a beauty products company that you started as well.
Skincare for the collagen, like that. Collagen, placenta for the beauty skin.
Yeah, so you have a sales company that you do. I know Alara is into this sort of thing as well, selling the beauty products, which I think will go hand in hand with. So right now, that's your the main business. I think you have it's called VCY trading company.
For rentals, condos, and house and lot. I'm selling for the house and lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And are you also do finance and lending?
Before.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But now I stopped already because some makes trouble, some doesn't.
Yes,
it's
I've heard this kind of thing. Do you also help other women to get into acting and beauty pageants? I read something that you also work with a talent center. Do you also trying to get other women to be part of beauty pageants and things like that?
Nagtulong ka ba mag-help sa ibang mga babae na magpasok ng beauty pageant?
Yeah, I'm helping them how to walk like that. Yeah,
I could to put
make
makeup.
beauty.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
So-
if for the listeners right
for
now,
the supplements.
advice
Like
for
that.
supplements.
Yes.
For the listeners right now, what I'm looking at is that this woman that's beside me has really good posture. She always has this good posture. Every time she looks in a really feminine way. So, which is being missed out, but I guess not by the video. But do you notice that?
As compared to maybe me, who's over here, who's leaning over the desk with his back like this and talking with my hands up and like a
do you see
crazy
that
old man.
certain aura?
Yes, I mean,
Eric?
you just from sitting here and the few minutes that we've been talking together, I can see why you might win all of these crowns.
Oh, really?
The whole business about now obviously I don't know.
You're doing that now. You're doing that now.
Now I don't know a lot about beauty things, but I think if I did, the poise and the thing that you must exuberate.
You're doing that now.
Yes, and I'm trying to keep my shoulders back and my head up and my chest out.
Chest out,
like
stomach
I'm trying to be in a stand up the stature of my.
That's the important.
But now, so the beauty contest that you were just in, the big one, the Mrs. Asia International. What is that? Did they do swimsuit and evening gown and
no, only gown.
Only gown.
And I have talent. I dance for rumba.
Oh,
rumba.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's your talent. You're a dancer.
Yeah. Before I go there, I train for maybe 2 months.
So from where?
Always
Where were you
exercise.
training?
I train in my condos and my coach.
Who is your
Tata
coach?
Saguin.
What?
Tata Saguin.
Hi, Tata!
Thank you, Tata! And my designer, Rai Bali, and my hair makeup, Juice Suarez. Thank you so much. Especially to Derek Ricaldi. Thank you so much.
It's okay.
Yeah. My friend Mel Martinez. She is the one who introduced me. Mel Martinez. Mrs. World 2011.
Oh, wow.
She's my best friend.
Oh,
Actually, she is my
hello, Miss
neighbor
Mel.
at Quezon City.
Hi, I hope
Yeah.
you're listening. Right? Is she listening right now?
Yeah. she's
Oh,
at the
hi.
house.
Hello to people from Quezon City. I hope you're having a good day right now, listening to Revolutions per Minute. Yeah.
Well,
We love you.
Take it to Doug Johnson.
Yeah, but, well, I'll do a couple of shout outs here
Yeah.
to the
I
people that have
know,
helped us.
because they love listening to our radio show. That's the coolest thing ever. You know, I mean, they like being with us at this Saturday afternoon. So thank you so much for everyone who's actually listening to our radio show right now.
We love having our listeners listen to our radio show. That's the purpose, I guess, of being on the radio, is trying to get people to listen and see if we can inspire people. And right now, I think from the story that I've heard, we have a absolutely inspirational person who's come here.
Absolutely.
Who has come
Hands
from pulling herself up from living on the island of Surigao, and
that
now
has no electricity.
that had no
Yeah,
electricity,
that's
and she is now the multi-winner at the Mrs. Asia International Competition. Now, you were telling me there that your talent, you were a Rumba. Rumba was
Rumba,
your talent.
yeah.
So you're a
Split.
you do a split too.
Yeah.
Oh
Now
my God.
we would ask for a demonstration, but I don't think
No
we have
splitting.
we
Oh
have
my
the room here in the thing. But so now, did you study dance?
That's the first. Actually, I love dance, but that's the first time I danced rumba.
Okay, the first time you
Yeah.
danced rumba. Now,
But she had a coach.
What else?
Yeah.
You have a very good coach. Now, so
Rai Bailey.
Right, right.
you're
Right.
you're in the you're at the competition. So you do talent and you do evening gown.
Yes.
And so those are the main two categories.
Actually, there are 10 judges. They are interviewing me. 10 judges.
10 judges.
In one room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
Wow.
only one judges.
10
10.
different questions.
Different question. Tell me your life, like that. And how about the president in Philippines, Duterte? So I told them, so I like Duterte because he's very strong.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's very strong man, and I hope the Philippines will gonna change. No more drugs and crimes, and there is a peace. If there is a peace, there is a prosperity.
Well,
Yes, absolutely.
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I think Alara was just pointing something out over here. Is that what you were pointing at something?
Yeah.
I just wanted to, we're going to this. They put it on this on my desk, a copy of Vanity magazine, and I don't know if they can see this on the monitor up there, but you are on the front cover of Vanity magazine
Oh my
here.
God.
This beautiful
That is
picture of you on the front cover, and it says under an enchantingly beautiful soul, and
Oh my
right
God.
under that is another one.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me see that.
Let's just pass this over. We'll pass these magazines
God.
around. There's another one, the Women's Journal, March of 2016, with some other women on here that I actually recognize. And this is an absolutely gorgeous picture of you. If you can just quickly see, she's over to the left among this on the front cover of the Women's Journal.
That was when I won Empowered Woman. My director is Gorospi. Thank you so much. He's passed already.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, last June too.
I think you have won a lot of awards that we don't even have on our list here
Yeah.
because they keep coming out. But this is a gorgeous picture of you on the front cover of the Women's Journal here in the
I
Philippines.
won that Star of the Night, Gandang Pilipina 2015, an Empowered Woman.
Yes, and over the last couple of weeks we have been having shows on the empowerment of women and women that have inspired many Filipinos. And Olara is opening up the magazine to show the spread
Oh my
that they
God.
had these gorgeous
You
pictures of
guys
her.
should-
If we can see
Yeah.
on the monitor some of the pictures that we have of her.
This is the gown that she's wearing right now. So it really looks beautiful. It really looks beautiful. Vanity Magazine, Volume 22, Number 4. Please get a copy.
Let's do a little plug for Vanity Magazine here.
Vanity
Well, you know, it's just kind of it's fascinating, these beauty competitions. Now, I had this idea when I was thinking about when you said that you agreed to come on the show. I thought, you know, how great would it be if we had a beauty competition here on Revolutions Per Minute? So I thought to myself, you know what? Let's have our own. Let's have the queen of Revolutions Per Minute. We'll have our own little beauty pageant here because we have enough contestants. We have Olara could be a contestant. Vivian would be our professional contestant, and of course I'll be a contestant as well. I'll also be the judge and the moderator.
Is that the box that you were?
Yes. So we have a. I thought about this. I worked very hard on this beauty competition to crown the queen of Revolutions Per Minute. We have a crown that we brought in, and according to the crown is worth 250,000 pesos. So this is a major. Oh wait a minute, I read that wrong. I'm sorry. It's 250 pesos. I misread the price of the crown. So I thought that we would have our own. Now we can't do swimsuit competition and we can't do gown competition.
No, you won't.
Mostly because I would be a contestant and no one would want to see that.
See you in swimsuit.
So I thought what we would do is we would just ask questions. We would ask questions and give everybody a chance to answer. And these are questions that I came up with that are related to news, current topics, and things that we're going to. Instead of doing the news today. And I see Vivian is right now, she's looking around going, oh, wait a minute, what is this I've gotten myself into? What is he going to do?
I am not, you did not prep me up on this. I'm going to kill you.
Yes, I know.
That's what she has inside her mind.
So, starting out with it's going to be a question only. And I just want to do is I want to ask everybody a question. Well, everybody answer the same question. And you were about to answer one of the first questions before I even asked the question. So let's just start our competition right now.
Okay, so are we on? This is it?
Yes, this is it.
So we're gonna have a contest now, and he's going to ask us questions, and then okay, I'll give her. And she's won already.
Now, the first question in our competition is, lately there has been a slogan that change is coming. And I've seen this everywhere. I see it on bumper stickers, on shirts, on buses, on everything. It's just been said all over the place. Now, what change would you like to see in the Philippines that's going to make your life better, Vivian? So what change? You were about to say the answer just a minute ago. Change is coming. What change would you like to see coming that's going to make your life better? Hi, this is Eric LeCain. I am back here on Revolutions Per Minute, DZRJ Radio. We're here today with Vivian Yano. She is she just was in Malaysia. She won several crowns at the Mrs. Asian International Competition. And we've been sitting here talking, having a lot of fun with her, with Olara Magpantay.
Yeah. Hello to everyone.
Our resident therapist here.
Thank you.
We on the break. Vivian stepped out for a moment because I believe she's fixing her dress.
Yes, she's fixing her dress, and she is. She has a really nice dress, which is in the Vanity magazine, guys. So if you are out there, just grab a copy. And it's volume 22, number 4.
Now, when we were on the break here, Olara and I were just sitting here talking that we found that Miss Vivian Yano, we find her to be...
She's back.
She's back, and to be a very real person, somebody that a lot of Filipinos can really relate to. You know, sometimes we have people on the show that are just so high up, they're CEOs of companies, whatever, but it's just great to see... someone
humble,
someone coming on the show who started from absolutely the Filipino living in the province, the very far province in Mindanao, and work her way up the ladder all the way to the point of where she is now, where we're sitting here interviewing her with all this incredible the crowns and the trophies and everything. There's magazines all laid out here on the desk. We're just so happy to have her here now, and she is back. She was off fixing her dress, I think, which we're on radio, so I tend to not even wear very much. But welcome back, Vivian. We're very ecstatic to have you here on the show. You have been so much fun, and I've been making it hard for you, I know, all day by throwing you these questions at you in English. But we have Olera here, and she has been helping me.
Can you speak Japanese? I will speak in Japanese.
Now, let me ask you.
She's offering you to speak in Japanese now, Eric.
Let me ask you. Say,
dare you?
Let me say. I would like to ask you if I wanted to learn to say, I would like some salmon sushi with that. How would I say that in Japanese?
私、刺身ら、欲しいです。
Now that's absolutely great. Now that would take me weeks to learn to say.
No, just say this. 私は
刺身欲しいです。
刺身欲しいです。
So Olera is very, very good at languages.
Because we are. Yeah.
She's. I know in the Philippines we have multiple languages here. The fact that I can't even speak. I have a very difficult time trying to work on my Tagalog, much less my Japanese.
You have to. We will start not talking in English to any foreigner in this country.
I love
because
you.
Well, anyway, Vivian, as it turns out, is much more talented than any of us ever assumed, and a very smart lady. She, we were just talking while you were away getting your dress.
Salamat po.
That she is, she's the current. She's won many awards at the Mrs. Asia International. Now, before we went away on the break, we were talking about some other things. Now, we're just going to start over on because we were doing the beauty pageant to see who would be the queen of the revolutions per minute. And I know at first I apologize to you, Vivian, for forcing you to be part of my little skit here, but there was one subject that's a very serious subject to me, and I wanted to get to it because I want to see your views, because I've been fascinated by the way that you've answered these questions. And we're doing this as if you just tuned in, we're trying to do something kind of a quasi beauty pageant contest where they ask you questions. And so I've been asking questions to Vivian and Olera. This past week, now I don't know if you watch the news like I do, but I watch it all the time. Some crazy stuff happened. 3 men walked into an airport in Turkey, and they were all wearing exploding attire, and they had machine guns, and they walked into the airport and they blew themselves up. And we hear about this all the time. These people walking into things, but this time it was a little different because they had videotapes of them coming in. Now, the world is becoming, sometimes becoming a dangerous place. And people look at the Philippines sometimes as a dangerous place. And I find myself always trying to explain to people, it's not really like that here. We hear about the Philippines, but it's not so much like that. And what I would like, to say, now you were just talking about love and peace. What if, let's just say, for example, one of my guests here was a suicide bomber, and I had him here at Revolutions Per Minute on DZRJ Radio, and he was sitting in that chair right in front of you. What would you say to this guy who is got a bomb strapped to him and he's dead determined to see if he can blow himself up in something? What would you say to that guy?
For the first, I must have to pray here. I must have to pray him and healing and advise him not to do the bad for the bombing. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's the important. We must have to pray him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Use the power of prayer to see if we can persuade him.
God is always with us, so God will be controlled.
God
yes.
is in control.
I think that's an interesting point. Do you also concur, Olera, with that? If he was sitting here now and he was one of my guests, first thing you'd be really mad at me. You'd probably go, "Why did you have this guy as a guest?" Mm-hmm. What would you have to say to this man who's sitting here and he's got the vest attached to him? What would you say?
Why would he have a vest, and why would you invite him over?
Is the media the international media tends to only pick up these stories. And this is the only story that they say.
You know what? You want to persuade them? Tell them, stop watching the news. Stop watching the news. Not everything in the news is actually true.
Yes, stop.
They always exaggerate everything in the news. So, you know what? If you want one thing, you could go ahead and persuade them to, stop watching the news and ask the real people who have been here. There's a lot of people. You know Bjorn, right? Bjorn, we had him last week. He's been here for about, 10 years, I think, or 8 years with his wife, Vicky. He has put up his whole life. He forgot his life in the United States and came here in the Philippines and, opened himself to us kind of people, and we opened ourselves to him as well. So there's a lot that news is not telling. News is only about 20 seconds.
Yeah, and I know you're speaking about Bjorn Martinoff.
Hi, Bjorn. I hope you're listening to us right now, and Vicky too. We love you. We miss you. I hope you come back.
Two wonderful people that live here in the Philippines, and they devoted their life to helping people in the Philippines
to become more professional,
and advising them and lifting up their lives with professional
personal development.
Just as and it's almost like now we can. The people such as you that have started with a lot of Filipinos that have started and built themselves up, and that's one of the things that I know Bjorn used to talk to us about fixing, helping people to raise their businesses up and using different tactics and so forth to help them in international, taking their business to other countries and so forth. So. I find that very interesting. And you come from a place, Mindanao.
Yeah, one island.
It's okay. You come from a Mindanao, and Mindanao, and I've been to Mindanao, and the places that I've been, and I've been to where you're from, are very peaceful and very beautiful.
Yeah.
And so, your place, which is Surigao.
Yeah, of course. Some who needs help, I must have to help them.
Now,
very, very.
Something a point that you just made out is the fact that you came up from very humble beginnings. You're now a Mrs. International, Asia International Beauty Queen, and you still go and you try and give back and you help the children. What do you like? There may be, I was going to say, not specifically young girls out there listening right now, but mothers who are thinking, I wonder if I could do that. I wonder if I could be Vivian Yano.
Like Mrs. Mercado right here.
Yes, that's listening to the thing. Is what advice could you give someone who's listening to the radio now that's sitting there in Mindanao and she may have a daughter or a son and be a single mother working her way up? What advice can you give to that Filipino who wants to become like you?
For the mothers that they have children, you must have to take care of your children. You must have to love and your husband. You must have to have an understanding and love each other. That's the important.
So basically what you're saying is that family unit, the family, is one of the most important things here in the Philippines.
You must have to love your family. That's the important.
Love your family. That is the secret to success. Is
I agree
family.
With that. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's the important.
I think we made that point. I think I actually made that point last week. We were saying that I don't remember who.
Love and care.
William Buffett. I don't know if you know who William Buffett is. He's this man. He has a lot of money. And everybody listens to everything he says. And one of the things he said was the most important investment you will make in your life is who you marry. And I believe that wholeheartely, that the person that you marry is one of the most important decisions that you will make. Now, your marriage that you had, at first, you were just thrown into your marriage because of circumstance. But being in your marriage and having a child and being able to work your way from Philippines to Japan and back to Philippines. I think that even though you ended up your husband did pass away and you were a widow and you had to raise your child on your own, but still now I'm assuming that your child is still probably the most important thing in your life. How old is your daughter again?
Can you say her name? What's her name?
Hi, Aki. I love you. Take care. I always love you.
How old is she
Hi,
again?
Auntie.
37 years old.
37?
27.
27.
Yeah.
So what does she
It's
do?
coming October.
She's a film director.
Director.
Yeah,
Director.
film director. And what
the
is she?
lightning.
What is she working on now?
The English Only
English
Please
Please. Oh,
by Janeline Mercado and who's the other guy?
Derek
Derek
Ramsey.
Ramsey.
Oh, okay.
She's the lighting director.
So you must be incredibly proud. Okay,
Yeah.
you could we can actually we can if you want we can post your information up on the RPM website if you like.
What?
Trading.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that this company with these skin products must be doing very well because your skin is absolutely immaculate.
Yes, I
Thank you
know.
so much.
But what I would like to thank for coming today would be Vivian Yano for giving us some time out of your schedule. I know right before you came here, you were somewhere else doing something else, and you raced over here.
I'm attending at NRL.
A fabulous day. We're so happy that you were able to come. Lara, I know, is ecstatic. She was talking in the break there. She's so happy that you were here.
Yes,
Thank you too.
Ma'am, thank you. It's my honor.
welcome.
Oh my God.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's one of those stories.
Thank you.
It smells really good.
It's
Chanel
one-
number 5.
It's one of those stories that
yes.
you just love to hear in the Philippines. That makes us feel good about ourselves to hear a story like yours about coming from
very
where you have and where you've come.
inspiring.
And this, so people who may be listening on to the radio, there are crowns laid out here on the desk and
Yeah,
sashes
I hope you
and
see
trophies.
them.
She is
Can I-
absolutely. So we're very happy to have you, and we'd like to thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Join us again next week on Revolutions Permitted on
Yeah.
DZRJ. Thank you, Vivian. Thank you, Alara, and we will see
Magpasay.
everyone.
Thank you too. Maraming salamat. Daghan salamat.
Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat po, and we will see all of you next week.
Take care.